Today, in the media conference with Lal Goyal, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today our topic is very, very important. And the topic is COVID returns, role of insurance companies. Getting insurance is your responsibility to your family and loved ones. You may hate it, but it is your responsibility. When you have insurance, you know that you are secured against any unforeseen events in life, and this gives you complete peace of mind. Insurance is a means of protection from financial loss. It is a form of risk management primarily used to hedge against the risk of a contingent or uncertain loss. An entity which provides insurance is known as an insurer, an insurance company, an insurance carrier, or an underwriter. A person or an entity who buys insurance is known as an insured or as a policyholder. The insurance transaction involves the insured assuming a guaranteed and known relatively small loss in the form of payment to the insurer in exchange for the insurer's promise to compensate the insured in the event of a covered loss. The loss may or may not be financial, but it must be reducible to financial terms and usually involves something in which the insured loss and insurable interest established by ownership, possession, or pre-existing relationship. The insured receives a contract called the insurance policy, which details the conditions and circumstances under which the insurer will compensate the insured. The amount of money charged by the insurer to the policyholder for the coverage set forth in the insurance policy is called the premium. If the insured experiences a loss which is potentially covered by the insurance policy, the insured submits a claim to the insurer for processing by a claims adjuster. The insurer may hedge its own risk by taking out reinsurance, whereby another insurance company agrees to carry some of the risk, especially if the primary insurer deems the risk too large for it to carry. With the recent outbreak of coronavirus, an increased number of people have become more aware of insurance. Many of them also consider insurance as a necessity to be ready in case of any other unforeseen circumstances in the future. But this was not always the case. Before the outbreak of COVID-19 in India, only a meager 10% of people showed interest in purchasing insurance to cover medical emergencies, including pandemics and infectious disease. Now, however, 71% of the people consider it a necessity. An overall view of different types of insurances and impact of COVID. General insurance. Since general insurance undertakes the valuation of assets and businesses as well as their overall economic activity, it is benchmarked with the GDP of a country to measure the insurance penetration. Hence, a large proportion of the general insurance sector is dependent on the performances of industries and individual businesses. So with the lockdown causing a hitch in the business sector, the general insurance market has subsequently suffered. The overall sector is believed to look up as the global economy stabilized by 2022. Health insurance. India traditionally has been an underinsured country when it comes to health insurance. However, with government initiatives such as Ayushman Bharat, which aims to insure the poor and vulnerable, the gap has somewhat been bridged. But the private insurance schemes have reported covering only 18% of the urban population and a little over 14% of the rural population. While the demand for health insurance is expected to increase considerably, underwriting threshold may also go up, and thus the negative movement may not be offset. With the constant increase in the number of cases and the prolonged duration of the crisis, the IRDAI has mandated all general and health insurers to start offering Corona Kavach, an indemnity-based health plan, and Corona Rakshak, a fixed benefit health insurance policies to their customers. These policies are meant for covering hospitals and medical expenses of COVID-19 patients. Life insurance. Life insurance primarily protects the livelihoods of the people and their future financial security. As a result, life insurance has a direct correlation with the earning of people, their business performance, and net worth. Since the onset of the pandemic, there has been a rush to increase one's cover. According to the PwC report, pure life covers should see renewed interest and thus should see a boost in demand. While long-term guarantees will look attractive, insurers will still face constraints as the interest rates plummet, with consumers becoming more cautious about their investments, leading to a shaky stock market. Automobile insurance. The automobile sector, which accounts for over 35% of the overall insurance premium collection, was already witnessing a slowdown when the COVID-19 outbreak took place. The pandemic and the resultant lockdown further impacted the automobile industry, thus reducing significant revenue for the insurance industry. This blow turned out to be a major wake-up call for the industry experts, who then started forging for innovative approaches and solutions to keep their customer base engaged and interested. One of the innovative approach is the pay-as-you-drive model. With most companies adopting the work from home policy, there has happened a drastic reduction in the number of motor vehicles on Indian roads, resulting in a nationwide reductions in the number of kilometers driven. Thus, insurance customers who see a reduced usage for their vehicles this year and show a lower chance of availing a high-priced insurance coverage can avail of an insurance policy at a discounted rate under the pay-as-you-drive model. This new type of car insurance policy allows car owners to insure their vehicles so only the kilometers that they tend to drive against a general average yearly driving distance. At a larger scale, the introduction of pay-as-you-use shall prove to be a significant shift in the history of automobile insurance in India, as it seeks to become more responsive to the usage and consequently needs of the customers. The insurance industry rides on the back of other industries. Hence, unless the overall economy bounces back or the insurance industry finds business in hitherto uncovered areas, the industry is likely to struggle in maintaining its momentum. The COVID-19 crisis has given rise to both immediate and potential challenges for the insurance industry in near future. Insurance companies are taking required measures to ensure a smooth transition of the industry into the post-COVID world. From the front offices, encouraging their customers to connect digitally to supporting their agents financially in these uncertain times by providing them advance commissions, the insurance industry is set to witness a major transition. The major disruption will be caused by digitization, which was already taking place in the insurance industry globally, but the onset of the COVID crisis has accelerated the transition process. This would effectively mean that in the coming days, the digital customers of the industry can expect only better choices with and smoother delivery systems. While the front offices are changing the way the insurance industry operates and interacts with its customer, the back office are set to provide several relaxations and updated guidelines for insurer. The industry deals with the possibility of claims being made on a policy for the next 7 years in the case of some risks. Hence, the long-term contracts in life and pension, the sustainability of investment returns and margins will have to be recalibrated. Finally, the future of doing business has to be relooked at. While the insurance industry has to plan for long-term consequences, immediate focus should be concentrated on the following aspects. Traditionally, the insurance industry has been employee-centric. With the advent of digital disruption of the industry, there will be an impact on its vast employee base in the foreseeable future. However, despite the switch to digital mode, a vast majority of the business will require one-on-one communication or face-to-face interactions. As a result, companies need to ensure that their agents have access not only to safety equipment in the office, but also require data and applications to safely work from home. The insurance industry is supposed to help other industries and hence cannot overlook any risk to its own existence. They must plan for business continuity in the light of future disturbances such as natural disasters, environmental issues, geopolitical crisis, and the resulting instability of the global regulations. The industry must be prepared for reduced cash flows due to the non-payment of premiums or delayed renewals. It also needs a carefully monitored decreased yield from the investment portfolio as interest rates fall from governmental action to ease business. In conclusion, it can be well established that moving ahead, the insurance industry must learn from the past and choose solutions with a preference for a pragmatic and fast approach rather than looking for perfect solutions to meet the future industry challenges. Industry experts should also facilitate building a robust and resilient frame of operations as insurers begin adapting to the new normal. And to why we are talking about the COVID return, I just want to give some figures. The COVID returns yesterday on 20th May 2021, India registered 1,71,726 new cases of coronavirus, which has taken the country's cumulative tally past 2,77,19,000 cases. Yesterday, 3,563 lost their lives. Thus, total deaths due to corona raised to 3,22,384. According to health officials, India has administered 20 crores 57 lakhs 20,660 vaccine doses across the country as of yesterday, that is 28th May 2021. Although the pace of vaccine is slow, but hopefully we will achieve the target of more than a crore per day. Then only we will be able to vaccinate everyone by the December end, as mentioned by the Honorable Minister, Mr. Javadekar, yesterday when he was addressing a press conference. Now, coming to the main topic, that is COVID returns role of insurance companies. Today, we are very happy to inform all our viewers that we have authorities, those who have full knowledge about the insurance business, insurance companies, and those have a full experience in this field. I would like to introduce and invite my first guest, and he is Mr. G. Srinivasan. Mr. G. Srinivasan is currently serving as Director of National Insurance Academy. Prior to that, he had 39 years of experience in the non-life insurance industry, both in India and abroad. He was Chairman and Managing Director of New India Assurance Company Limited, the largest Indian non-life insurer, between 2012 and 2018 for about 6 years. Prior to that, he was CMD of United India Insurance Company Limited for 5 years between 2007 and 2012. He was also MD and CEO of New India Assurance Company, Trinidad and Tobago Limited in the Caribbean for little over 4 years. He has been and is also currently on the boards of many companies as directors and chairmen, both in India and abroad. He has held chairmanship of General Insurance Council and General Insurance Public Sector Association, GIPSA. He is on the Insurance Advisory Committee of IRDAI. He has been on many committees of IRDAI and IFSCA, Gandhinagar. He also served as President of Insurance Institute of India. He has been conferred fellowship by Institute of Directors. He has received many awards during his long tenure, including the Personality of Year by Asia Insurance Industry Awards, Singapore. He is a Commerce graduate of Madras University, Associate of Institute of Cost Accounts of India, and a Fellow of Insurance Institute of India. Welcome, Mr. Srinivasan, on our show. Mr. Srinivasan, as the report which I read has outlined the conditions today in our country, not only in our country, around the world because of the COVID. Now, everyone is looking towards the insurance company. Earlier, the insurance company used to look towards the public and those to take the policies. But now everyone wants a policy. The change has come, the mindset has changed. Now, we would like to know your views on COVID returns, role of insurance companies. Mr. G. Srinivasan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Goyal, for the nice introduction and also the opportunity for being part of this video conference. Let me also say good morning to all the participants watching this program. It's my privilege to be with very eminent panelists in this discussion. Ken, who is a doyen and also I would say a living legend of the insurance sector, former chairman of IRDAI and former chairman of LIC is here. Mr. Ramnath Pradeep, who is former CMD of Corporation Bank, is also here. So it's my privilege to have this platform with these great personalities of the financial services sector. Mr. Goyal, you were mentioning about the COVID. You know, when last year COVID happened for the first time and we had a lockdown in the month of March, we all thought that it is something which will go away the next few months, 3 months, 6 months. And, you know, we are now more than a year and it's not going away from us. It doesn't seem to have any intention of leaving us at any time soon. So it's been a very serious problem. You were just giving the numbers, how many people are infected in this country, and, you know, almost 320,000 people have lost their lives due to this virus. And it's one of the major tragedies India has seen and the world has seen. I mean, it's not only India which is impacted by this. But what is, of serious concern is the second wave. You know, month of February and March, I also thought that India, with its superior immunity, the theory of Indians having very high immunity, we have defeated the virus. But I think virus has come back with a vengeance. And second wave has been disastrous. You know, it's been highly infective, highly infectious, and it's also been very serious. And the mortality rates are very high. And we have all been witness to the scenes of people running around for hospital beds, ICU beds, oxygen, a sight I have never seen in my life. And I don't wish to see this at any time, for the whatever balance period I would like to live. It's been a very serious issue. What is, you know, disturbing is this second wave has impacted the youngsters. A lot of those who are in 30s and 40s have lost their lives. And a lot of young children have lost their parents. I saw some numbers, you know, more than 600 children have lost both the parents. It's also not only a health issue, it has also become a social issue. It also has a serious economic impact. Last year, India is expected to degrow by about 7 to 8% in GDP. And this year, we thought that we will grow at about 13% to make up for some of the shortfalls we had seen in the previous year. But I think because of the second wave and also expected future waves, the GDP the current year is expected to grow only by about 8 to 9%. So this also has an impact because of the GDP growth is not great. I know it affects the people. There's loss of employment. And whenever there is a crisis, it's always people at the bottom of the pyramid who get impacted more. And that's what's happening at this point of time. So it's a serious issue. Coming to the role of the insurance sector, you know, you said insurance sector was always looking for business, but it is always a mutual thing. You know, insurance sector wants to sell policies, and then, you know, the customers, whenever they have a problem, as you very nicely explained the concept of insurance, you know, those who suffer losses or face difficulties, the insurance company makes good those losses. So the insurance sector has always tried its best to come to the rescue of people. But the first thing is people should take insurance policies. That has been a challenge in the Indian market. I will just focus on the first on the health insurance, you know, which is, as you said, is the most important policy required at this point of time. If you look at some numbers, the insurance sector has been, lodged by about around 16 lakh claims. I mean, I'm talking of the last 1 year. So many claims have been filed with the insurance company. The insurance companies have settled almost 13 lakh claims for about 12,000 crores. That's the amount the insurance industry has paid. It's a big amount considering the size of health insurance is only about 60,000 crores. And you have all the other non-COVID claims, which continue to be there. Last year, first 2-3 months, people were not taking those elective surgeries, elective treatments. But in the current year, what we are seeing is both are continuing. Both COVID treatment is continuing. Other treatments are also continuing. What we have seen in the current year is the first 2 months, almost 50% of the health claims, which was lodged in the entire last year, has been lodged. That shows the ferociousness of the second wave. So the insurance industry is obviously concerned with what will happen in the balance period of the current year. But from a customer's perspective, certainly, those who are insured have been able to get benefit out of the insurance contract in terms of getting claims. If you look at the health insurance companies, or the general insurance companies, and also life insurance companies, health insurance is today the most popular product. You would even say that it's going to become a kind of a pull product. There's no need for insurers to convince customers to take this policy. That's what we are expecting. There has been a lot of growth, especially in the retail health segment of the insurance sector. But still, we still have a long way to go. I mean, the government through its Ayushman Bharat is covering almost 50 crore people, whereas the insurance sector has been able to cover only about 10 to 12% of the population, even after so many years. Despite pandemic, there are many, a large segment, at least half the population, who still do not have any kind of health insurance, especially people who are above poverty line, who are not covered by the government health insurance, haven't been benefited by the health insurance part. So we still have a long way to go, though the environment is conducive in terms of people understanding the importance of health insurance. I think we still have to convince the customers to take this product. So what has happened in the last 1 year is the regulator has also been quite positive. There are few products which they introduced. One is an Arogya Sanjeevani, which is a standard health insurance product, which every insurance company is offering. So there is a little bit of, people don't have to be confused with too many health insurance products. That happened. And then the Corona products, which you mentioned, Corona Kavach and Corona Rakshak, they've also, low premium, short-term products. They've also sold in a big way. What is good about the insurance companies, they continue to sell, even though currently, the pandemic is raging. Still, the insurance companies are offering these products, and the people should have to take advantage of this by buying these products, at least to protect themselves against the pandemic. But they should really go for a regular health insurance product, because there are so many other diseases waiting to happen. So that is something the insurance industry has done. And the insurance industry has also tried to scale up the level of service. Even IRDAI has instructed the insurance companies to provide cashless within an hour, which is what I understand all the insurance companies are trying to give. And most of the time, they are really providing a cashless to people in a very short span of time. But there are issues. I mean, I don't want to say that everything is fine. There are certainly issues, especially in the initial part of the pandemic. Hospitals were charging rates, and there was disputes between the insurers and the hospitals. But I think things have settled down to a very large extent. So the claim settlements have been much more smoother after the first few months of pandemic. But a few issues are still there. One is the rates charged by hospitals. There are state governments who have imposed, who have kind of laid down how much should be charged for a COVID treatment. Similarly, the insurers who normally are expected to pay reasonable charges through the General Insurance Council have also, fixed what is a reasonable charge for a COVID treatment. But still, there are instances of hospitals charging more, and that gives rise to some kind of disputes, which delays settlement of claims. So that is one issue which is still there, which need to be sorted out. The second, other issues which we see, which you hear from customers, they don't get the full claim amount. They only get part of the claim amount. Some reasons are traditionally the insurance policies do not pay the non-medical expenses, which as a customer, I wouldn't understand. So some part of it doesn't get paid. Then the sum insureds which customers have taken are low. Generally in India, we have seen people take only for 1 lakh, 2 lakhs. Whereas, COVID treatments have been for a much larger amount. Then the sum insured is not there, so they don't get the full payment. And then there are room rent restrictions in the policy. If somebody gets admitted in a higher room rent, then he doesn't get the full claim. So these are some pinpricks which are there. And I understand the insurers have been trying their best, but customers obviously are unhappy if they don't get claims. So these issues need to be resolved. But I must say the insurance industry has also done a little bit more. One is they have gone ahead and, provided information on the pandemic. So, I've seen all the insurance companies advising customers what they should do in this era, because there's so much information today. There is infodemics, there is a lot of wrong information going around. So the insurers have tried their best to tell customers what they should do, what they should not do. The other thing I've seen, in the last 2-3 months is insurers sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, have been trying to get beds, ICU beds, oxygens for their customers, which normally they don't do. But then because of the very peculiar situation, they have also been doing this. So the insurance industry has gone beyond just payment of claims in terms of giving service to their customers. This is as far as health is concerned. Coming to the non-health part of the general insurance side, there are quite a bit of losses that Indian businesses have suffered. Unfortunately, the products were neither offered by the insurers nor demanded by the customers, so they are not there in the Indian market. For example, due to lockdown, businesses were closed. So there is a loss of business, loss of profit. So though customers had the traditional loss of profit policy, they couldn't lodge claims under this product. Similar products were available to a limited extent globally, but India, it was not there. The second thing is loss of employment. You have insurance policies which can cover loss of employment to people due to lockdowns, pandemic, this kind of a situation. Then event cancellations due to pandemic. These products, hopefully the industry would be able to offer now. The customers should also take, because we don't know. Today, we are not sure whether this is the end of this, the last pandemic we are seeing, or we are going to see more. So these products would be made available for the insurance companies, and that would benefit the customers. I just would like to close by a few suggestions, which I thought will very briefly mention. One is, what we have seen is the health infrastructure in the country has been completely exposed. We thought only the rural part of India is problems of health infrastructure, but we are seeing even the cities have issues. So initially, the government thought that probably through the insurance model, health infrastructure can be increased. But that has not happened. So maybe I think it's time that governments or other private institutions should create health infrastructure across the country, and with insurance growing, both probably that can support the cost of setting up hospitals across the country. I think that is one thing the government needs to take care of, how to increase the health infrastructure, availability of doctors, nurses, facilities, ICUs, ventilators, oxygen. I think this is an opportunity for us to understand the issues and do something about it. The second is the treatment cost. Today, this is a generic problem in health insurance. There is no control or regulation of how much a hospital should charge for any treatment. What should be the treatment protocol? What should be the investigation protocol? How much charges they should make? Every other sector, even if I go to a hotel, there seems to be some kind of a restriction how much the hotelier should charge for idlis and dosas. But in hospitals, there's nothing. So I think that is important, because it resolves the disputes between the customers and hospitals, customers and insurers, insurers and hospitals. That is something I would like to suggest. Maybe the government should do that. Third is, insurance policies also need to be widened. To having learned from these claims, can we widen the policy so that the customers get maximum amount, they get the entire amount. They don't have to lose some amounts, even though they have insurance. That is probably the insurance industry should cut. The other one I thought is probably the insurance industry should now vaccinate all their customers, even probably taking the cost of vaccination. Hopefully, once vaccines are available, I think they should. It's something good for the insurance industry itself if the customers are healthy. So that is one thing, they shouldn't mind the extra cost which is involved. The other is, we are hearing this fungus, black fungus. So there is a little bit of lack of clarity as to whether it can be covered in the Corona Kavach and Rakshak policies. I feel it is due to COVID, and I think it should be covered. Hopefully, the industry should take that positive decision. Finally, a pandemic is a huge thing, and it sometimes goes beyond the insurance company. So there is a need for what we call as a pandemic pool, which can provide cover for this business interruption covers, loss of employment, even health. Future, the insurance companies may also be hesitant if their claims keep on increasing. A pandemic pool supported by the government. I think government has to step in because it's all huge. could provide a long-lasting solution to the people of this country. So, Mr. Goyal, these are some of the comments I just wanted to make. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Srinivasan, for giving a very, very clear picture about the health insurance, general insurance, and non-health insurance also. What I will just highlight few points which Mr. Srinivasan has raised. And what he says is that almost 16 lakhs claims have been already made in the last year. And out of that, 13 lakhs claims have been settled. The 3 lakhs or whatsoever the claims have not been settled. That is because there are some misunderstandings between the insurer, the hospital, and the insured person. And this is because there are no set guidelines how much the hospital should charge. And we have seen in Mr. Srinivasan, you have said rightly, but the fact is that many hospitals, because the government have put, the state governments have put the limit, the hospitals are charging more money in cash. Now the person who is insured, he feels or she feels that if I am insured, I must get that money. But that once you have paid something which is not legally paid, supposed to be paid, that you are not supposed to get. And one more thing which Mr. Srinivasan has highlighted is that those loss of business is there in India, but whether it is covered in this COVID pandemic or not, because it's for the general loss of business. So that is also a point where there will be a dispute between the business entity and the insurance company. And secondly, he says, because in the other world or other countries, generally they offer these types of policies which were not either available or people were not interested to take in India. But now, after this pandemic, the insurance company will also change their policies, and as well as the mindset of the business people in India will also change. And one more very important point which he has raised is about the black fungus. Yes, that is very, very important, because black fungus right now we are seeing because of the COVID. But the other way, some doctor says because it's less immunity. So tomorrow the insurance company should not come out with the argument that it has nothing to do with the COVID. Even if you have a less immunity, then you can also have a black fungus. So why should you are relating with the COVID Kavach and this? So it will not cover the. So we don't know what is going to happen. But yes, this is a very serious matter. I'm sure the insurance company and the government will take some initiative. So any type of the diseases which are going to come, whether black fungus, white fungus, yellow fungus, or might be tomorrow red fungus or any other fungus, should be covered, so that at least person should get. But I don't know what will be the viability of the insurance company. For that, Mr. Srinivasan has given a suggestion that the pandemic pool should be there and the government should step in. But I'm sure with the Ayushman Bharat, government has paid a lot of money to the insurance company. The health of the insurance company is quite robust because of the Ayushman Bharat. But nobody was thinking 2 years back or 3 years back when the Ayushman Bharat was introduced that this is going to come and it will wipe off all the reserves of the insurance company. Thank you very much, Mr. Srinivasan, for giving your views. Now I would like to invite the legend of insurance, as Mr. Srinivasan has put. He is none other than Mr. T.S. Vijayan. Mr. T.S. Vijayan is the former chairman, Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, IRDA. He was member of Executive Committee of International Association of Insurance Supervisor. He is the former chairman of Life Insurance Corporation of India, LIC, from 2006 to 2011. He was non-executive chairman of LIC Housing Finance Limited, LIC Pension Fund Limited, LIC Mutual Fund Asset Management Company Limited, LIC International BSC, LIC Nepal Limited, LIC Lanka Limited, LIC Mauritius Offshore Limited. He was director on boards of Chem India Assurance Company Limited, National Stock Exchange of India, NSE, a National Commodity and Derivative Exchange Limited, General Insurance Corporation of India, Mahindra and Mahindra Limited, ITC Limited, and ICICI Bank Limited. Welcome, Mr. T.S. Vijayan on our show. Mr. T.S. Vijayan, you have heard what Mr. G. Srinivasan has mentioned. Now, we would like to know from you, because life insurance company is the giant, is the company which is having, it's a unimaginable for anyone. Such a big organization, and to be a chairman for almost 5 years of that big corporation, it's a big thing. We would like to know from you the COVID returns role of insurance companies. Mr. T.S. Vijayan, please.
Thank you, Mr. Goyal. First of all, let me thank you for inviting me for this TV discussion. Mr. Ramnath Pradeep and Mr. Srinivasan, my old friends, are also here. And in fact, I'll compliment you that you have given a very good account on what is insurance, how insurance is dealt with. And Mr. Srinivasan has talked extensively about health insurance, products, services, challenges, and the suggestions that he has put in front of us. The loss is going to be huge. So I think my talking points were quite limited. So I would like to limit it to industry as a whole, the whole idea of industry as to this COVID and other pandemic situations that are coming in. For that, probably we have to know the basics of insurance. What's insurance? Insurance is nothing but a mechanism to compensate for the financial loss of the person. And that financial loss is payment is called claims, and they are including a premium. It's a contract between a policyholder and insurance company, and the contract is sealed by paying a premium to pay a certain amount at a particular point of time, whatever things come there. It's a contract. So the basic thing about contract is, consideration is paid, so premium is paid. Premium itself is calculated on the basis of history of things. Statistical methods are used. Historically, if the particular incident happens, what's the loss happening? And that's how premium is calculated. For example, I'll give a small example. If 1,000 persons are coming together and they are doing a particular job, and it is likelihood 1 in 1,000 is likely to get into a problem, and this sum has to be paid, then obviously 1 in 1,000 people coming together, each person putting 1 rupee. So 1,000 persons putting 1 rupee, the corpus becomes 1,000 rupees, and it is paid to the person who is suffering the loss. This is the basic of insurance. Now, let's come to the COVID situation. COVID doesn't have a history at all. Nobody knows the extent of the problems that's happening, how much damage will be there, how many people will get it. You call it a test positivity rate. Every day we are hearing the mortality rate, all these things are coming. Nobody could have predicted it. As I said earlier, insurance is based on history, statistical method. So in the absence of a history of COVID and the creation problems that will be created by the COVID, health insurer has to depend upon the health insurance policies, products, things like that. However, as we notice, pandemic spreading very fast. Compared to any other disease, the pandemic claims are increasing like anything. Hence, the historical calculation has really gone wrong. This is where it happens. That means the premium collected by the insurance companies for payment of claims could fall short. And it could be the companies which is going to suffer. That's what Mr. Srinivasan is talking about, creating a pool of insurance and pay for that. So this has happened. When this COVID situation happened, fortunately in India, both insurance companies and regulator are very fast to get an answer to it. Insurance companies were certain what type of products will be coming in. Immediately, regulator brought in 2 products, Kavach and Dakshak. As we said earlier, Kavach and Dakshak, 2 policies were brought in. How to sell the policy, this was the. So the policy thing and the premium was to be fixed by insurance companies. Later on, insurance companies cannot say that, no, I didn't know that this is going to be. It was not fixed by RDA, it's fixed by insurance companies, but insurance companies are to market it and sell it. Now the second problem happens, insurance business has always been one-to-one type of thing. highly or contract oriented. Agent will come, broker will come, discuss with the person and get the person's signature and go. So discussion, getting the wet signature on a paper and making a contract by issuing a paper policy, these were very common. This is where the COVID is affected. Discussion movement was restricted. There was no chance for putting a wet signature on a paper and getting a paper. And regulator has brought in that, easing the wet signature part of it. And because it is standard type of policies, not too much of discussion will be required on the feature of the policies and come. So regulation has been very fast in answering these questions. Now it comes to that. Settlement of claims. Mr. Srinivasan was saying about our hospitals, how they settle the claim, etc., etc. All these things are happening. But the conditions today is within 1 hour, this has to be informed to the customer. How much is the claim coming? What is the claim, etc. And claim, whether it can be paid under coverage, COVID, this has to be informed the customer. So both the companies and insurers, regulator has taken a number of steps to answer it, and they come up to the challenges. Maybe companies are making losses, obviously, because the product is not decided in advance, they're making losses. But companies have come forward to that, and that's why even the sales, premium collections, even though the GDP is slightly stagnant, and in premium collections were quite good, they're growing very fast, and that's it. And again, if it's a claim, if the company has to pay to a customer, there could be a dispute. A dispute, usually it goes to ombudsman. It can go to ombudsman. There's ombudsman across the country. Several insurance ombudsmen are appointed. They can go to the company. And usually the complaint is written to the ombudsman. Ombudsman calls the people, discusses with the people, and settles the claim. For this also, a new system has been brought in India. Congratulations to Indian team and the insurance industry and the insurance regulator. The complaint can be filed online. And hearing by ombudsman is done online. And the claim settlement that happens. And the timelines have been fixed. So the answer to it, right from the introduction of policies till the settlement of claims and disputes, Indian industry has come up to the challenge. A lot of things to do, If I make suggestions like this, in the sense, as I said, the pricing of the policies. There was no historical data to find out what could be the pricing. They fix the pricing. Now, most of the companies are finding it is not a viable at all. This pricing has to come up. So it is necessary, it will be necessary that sometime or other to allow the companies to increase the prices. That's one. Number two, many of the things are obligatory in India, like motor TP, social and rural obligations. These type of obligations are there in insurance companies. And if they don't fulfill the insurance companies, they are cut out of and penalties are given, all these things. At least in social and rural obligation type of thing, regulator has to give some exemption. Just like regulator has brought in the exemption for timeline for filing the returns. Now timelines for filing the returns are extended substantially so that companies are able to file it in time. Similarly, other obligations has to be relaxed. And not only that, some encouragement has to be given. If insurance companies are selling X number of insurance COVID policies, it's some encouragement, something has to be given by the regulator so that they are encouraged to do it. Similarly, with the brokers also who are selling the policies. And today in India, the broker, 25% of the business can come from one source, and 50%, all these things are there. At least in COVID policies, this percentage of policies that can be sourced from a client and which can be placed by the insurance companies needs relaxation. If that is relaxed, insurance brokers will be encouraged to approach more people and place it with the companies which are quite good. But other companies may not be responding equally fast on COVID cases. On these COVID cases, brokers should be more freedom to place the business with the companies which are faster in setting the claims and taking care of it. These things have come up. COVID has come, and COVID is maybe second wave has come, and people say that third wave. How many waves are there? Nobody knows. It could be enough number of waves. So it has to be dynamic. It cannot be static. Once it has come and it will be sticking on to that, that's not possible. The response has to be dynamic, and it could be encouraged to sell more policies on the line. And naturally, insurance companies will sell a policy, more focus on the policy, which is giving them profit. At least a reasonable amount of profit should be built into these things. And insurance is also business. And some relaxations, the taxes, those things have to be considered by the government. This is my how I wanted to say at this moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vijayan, for giving your views. And Mr. Vijayan has given a very good, I must say, the very positive things. He has told that within 1 hour, the insurance companies are informing the insurer about how much the claim. Because today in the COVID time, everyone is worried whether if we have filed a claim, what is going to happen, or when we are some patient has been admitted in the hospital, whether how much money we will get, how much we have to arrange, etc. And for the cashless, according to Mr. Vijayan, within 1 hour, the insurer will come to know how much the claim once you will file the claim. And one more thing which he said is about the Ombudsman. He said the Ombudsman is now available online. It means that whenever you have a dispute among the claim, one can just file online the complaint. There will be online interactions, and the decision, the judgment will come online. So that is a very, very positive point. Otherwise, one has to send the claim, and then the proceedings will start. It's a long, lengthy procedure. So what he says is, there are challenges for the insurance companies, lots of challenges, because this pandemic, no one predicted that such type of huge, big pandemic will come. And because of that, even the insurance companies could not calculate the premium, which otherwise they always calculate with their actuaries and all those experts with them. But now everyone failed because nobody was knowing that this is such a severe infectious disease. And now because of the second wave, which is very fatal, it is also very, very difficult. So he also agreed with Mr. Srinivasan about the pandemic pool. He says the government should give the help to the insurance company and others. They should decide how the things can be done. But one more thing which he has mentioned about the freedom to the brokers or the agents, how they should be allowed to do more business, so they can bring the business, and they will see to it that all those insurance companies which are giving which are settling their claims fast should be giving more business. So according to Mr. Vijayan, one has to change. It's a dynamic process. It's not a static, and one has to come out with new ideas, with new things, because nobody knows how many waves are going to be there. But still, the insurance sector is doing their best. In spite, sometimes, many times now, they are in losses. But in spite of that, they are doing best. Thank you very much, Mr. T.S. Vijayan, for giving such a nice information. I am sure our viewers are very much enlightened and very much pleased to know that insurance company, which otherwise the general perception, people feel, no, insurance company is now backing out, but they should also understand, after all, there is a contract, and the contracts, whatsoever the terms condition, only those terms condition can be fulfilled by the insurance company. Although Mr. Srinivasan mentioned that beyond that, they are trying to help getting the beds, etc., the insurance company, which is not their job. But because of the close relationship between the insurer and insured, this is things which are happening. Thank you very much, Mr. Vijayan, for giving very, very positive views. I am very happy that today's program, which is continuing now, is going to give very clear picture in the mind of the public. Otherwise, what we hear in the media, generally the negative reports that people are crying and nobody is giving the hospitals are not accepting the cashless system, etc. But yes, hospital will accept only that much cashless which they are taking legally. But if they are taking some under table, that definitely they will not accept the cashless. Thank you very much, Mr. T.S. Vijayan, once more. Now, I would like to invite my next guest, and he is Mr. Ramnath Pradeep. Mr. Ramnath Pradeep is LLB PG Economics. He is former chairman and CMD Corporation Bank. Mr. Ramnath Pradeep has served the banking industry for more than 37 years in various senior positions. His chairmanship in Corporation Bank had brought numerous awards to the bank. He put the bank on world map by taking keen initiative to partner with Commonwealth Secretariat for financing the youth as a social concern under Corporation Bank ComSec Youth Enterprise Financing Program. He has also served as Executive Director of Central Bank of India and was also appointed as Chief Vigilance Officer in State Bank of India and Bank of India. In addition, he had also been associated as Chairman of Corporation Bank Limited, Corporate Corp Bank Securities Limited, Cent Bank Home Limited, Cent Bank Securities Limited, and member of Board of Central Bank of India and ILFS, besides other companies in the area of finance, information technology, Rolta Group, retail chain Vadia Group, and Being Human, credit rating advisory services, etc. Currently, he is the chairman of Messrs. CRAAS Capital Advisors, Messrs. Credit Rating and Risk Advisory Services Private Limited. He is a co-author of book Financial Inclusion, Viable Opportunity in Urban India. Welcome, Mr. Ramnath Pradeep, on our show. Mr. Ramnath Pradeep, you have heard what Mr. G. Srinivasan as well as what Mr. T.S. Vijayan has mentioned. And they have given a very, very fair and clear idea about how the insurance companies are working even in this difficult time. They are there to help out each and every person who has insured themselves, because this is a very, very unimaginable pandemic which has occurred. Now, we would like to know from you, COVID returns, role of insurance company. Mr. Ramnath Pradeep, please.
Good morning, sir. And my thanks to Mr. Vijayan and Mr. Srinivasan, who has been veteran of insurance sector. I cannot add more than that what they have already spoken about what presently the insurance sector has done and what they are going to do. I have only to add something, some more points to add back. We must appreciate that as of today and the last year, IRDA has done a tremendous job by introducing the new product like Suraksha Kavach, COVID Kavach, and Raksha. This type of product has been launched. Unfortunately, many of the companies have not adopted this product, and as of today, many of the companies are not accepting under this product. Many of the companies insurance companies are not encouraging even the brokers and other people to talk. So this is one area when there is already a IRDA directives. This must be available and applicable to all the insurance company across. It should not be left to the only life insurance corporation or some government organization. It should be also equally applicable to the private sector as well as government sector companies both. So in spite of this, if you see the claim ratio which has been already settled as against 3 lakhs, almost 3 crore, the patient which has undergone this COVID situation, and as against that the claim amount which has been processed is very, very meager. It means there is a large gap between what the claim has been, what the patient has asked for and what the insurance company has settled. So there is a large gap. This gap also needs to be understood, because in the time of COVID, in time of this type of pandemic, which nobody has, even insurance company has not, has no occasion to examine, and as Vijayan Saab has already said that since there was no data, back data available, historical data available to fix up the premium, but this is a time when we can always take a futuristic view. But today, who are suffering as of today, there is absolutely the percentage of claim being rejected or claim being reduced is little bit high side. So I would suggest that the IRDA should come into picture, and IRDA should take a call to what extent those claims can be restored back or claim can be resettled when the claim has been rejected. Thirdly, I would like to make a small suggestion, because I don't want to go into detail how the insurance company devolve over a period of time, but I am trying to highlight what is expected as of today, what is expected from the insurance company. Generally what is happening is, today there is no though some of the insurance company has introduced the credit insurance as of today, but probably if the credit insurance would have been implemented in all the way, it should have helped in two ways. One, if the credit insurance was made available to the companies or the borrower, their rating would have been much better. Their losses to a very large extent could have been also included in that. So as of today, there is no credit insurance on account of account becoming NPA. Nobody is touchable. My suggestion is that credit insurance, which has been introduced by IRDA, I think during Mr. Vijayan's time when he was IRDA chairman, at that particular time, this product was launched, but there is a need to focus and needs to expand this scope of credit insurance so that rating agency is also looking forward. I have taken up the matter with the rating agency saying that once the borrower has taken a credit insurance, the credit enhancement should be there. Outside India, the credit enhancement is being considered, whereas in India, it is not being considered. So this is one area. Third area, during the pandemic period, all the class of people, particularly on the employee of only public sector insurance company, were allowed to travel to attend to the. So there has been an issue with regard to how to reach to the customer, because insurance is a personal level understanding between the customer and the insurer and the insurance company. The people from the other companies like private insurance companies, employee of brokers, employee of other companies, they were not permitted to travel during this period, and resulting into in many of the cases, the customer was asking, why can't you help? Because the moment the claim arises, it is the insurance, the marketing people or agent or brokers who are really responsible to see that the claim is filed in time, claim is settled in time. Because of the non-movement of the employee of insurance companies, privately insurance companies, as well as brokers, communities, agencies, they were somehow or other, there is a discomfort to the customer that when there was a need to reach to them, they have not been able to help them. And therefore, there is some sort of a thinking that when there is a need, the insurance people have not been able to reach to them and help them. Third is about now, people are already talking about third wave, which is going to impact what newspaper says. God saying it should not happen, but in the event it happens, which is going to impact the children. As of today, there is no policy by any insurance company or device which can cover the health of the children. They are covered, but covered along with the family members. So is there any possibility of devising a insurance cover for exclusively for the children below certain age, so that in case this has happened, this is going to happen or this may happen, they are also covered. Ultimately, it is a burden comes to the parents. So if this is taken care, probably this will also help the parents who are already suffering and undergoing a lot of stress on account of the COVID. They have also suffered because it is a link. What has happened is first the parents get it, the children get it. And if third wave comes and if this affects the children, it is going to be one of the major issue. And this is the right time when people are talking about, third wave. If the steps are taken by IRDA and insurance companies are directed to ensure that some policies specifically to address the need of children are also devised, and so that they are also taken care. Fourth issue is with regard to the settlement of claim. It has already been, there is always a dispute that what I claim and why I get it. And for that purpose, there is ombudsman already there. But what I suggest, sir, that during this pandemic period, this special situation has arisen. Now, if you go very in detail, some exemption are required to be considered by the insurance company, that when the claims comes, it is not exactly what has happened. There is no predetermined history of the person, and this has happened. So to some extent, there's some reasonableness of a claim must be considered, and some relaxation must be given by IRDA consider to what extent it can be given. Four things today, most of the cases which are being reported are now coming out. Second wave, the rural population has got impacted more, where the the penetration of insurance, whether it is a health insurance, whether it is a other type of insurance, is very, very less. Now this is the right time when we should concentrate and penetrate in the rural area and create infrastructure to that extent. My suggestion is that if the IRDA along with the insurance company, if they come together, if they can create some infrastructure in the rural area, probably this will go also a long way. Because today the rural area is more suffering in terms of rural infrastructure, healthcare infrastructures, and also penetration of the insurance in the rural area is very, very less. As otherwise in India, the total penetration is almost not more than 3% of total GDP. That is what is coming out, maybe less than that. So looking to the present requirement and going forward, I think there is a more need to have little more focus and special schemes of insurance policies towards the rural segment of the society. This is another suggestion I can make it, and I would request that it should be taken. And rest of the things we will come in the next, probably your next time when question answer is raised, then we will suggest. But these are some of the suggestions from, because I am representing not only the banking sector has responded very well. Whatever the scheme came from the government has been already implemented. Similarly, it is expected that the insurance sector, though they have responded very well looking to the situation, but there is still gap which can be addressed suitably over a period of time, maybe another 3 to 6 month time down the line. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramnath Pradeep, for giving very, very valuable suggestions, not as a former chairman of a bank, but as a citizen of the country, the person who, and that is what is required. And I just highlight 2-3 very important suggestions. One, he talked about the third wave, and he says that third wave, the expert says it is going to impact the children. And everybody knows that at least in India or everywhere in the world, the children are the most precious thing of any human being. So if the children are going to be impacted, what is going to happen? Because the insurer, as of now, the insurance companies covered the parents, but the family is included, the children is included in that. But whether it will get the full coverage or not, or there will be some gap, that is not clear. So according to Mr. Ramnath Pradeep, there should be some clarity should come from the insurance company, or they should devise some insurance for the children specifically to overcome this third wave, if it will come at all. Secondly, he talk about the credit insurance, and he says in the other countries, once there is a problem, such type of problem comes, the credit enhance. But in India, it is not being taken care. So his suggestion is that that should also be done in India. And third is very, very important is the rural, because in second wave, we have seen how the rural wave is impacted. Rural population has been impacted, but there is no such penetration in the rural side. Until unless the insurance company will not penetrate in the rural area, it's very, very difficult to serve the real India. And so Mr. Pradeep has given lots of good suggestions, which definitely in the next round, when our experts will speak, they may give the answers to that also. But now I would like to ask the first question, although it's very difficult to ask a question to a very, very expert and authority, but I will try my best to ask. My first question goes to Mr. Srinivasan. Mr. Srinivasan, yes, you have mentioned about the health in details. Now, my question to you is, what products do you suggest the COVID patients or those who are likely to be affected should take? Whether those who have already been impacted, now they are okay after the COVID, whether they should take now the COVID Kavach or not, or is it not required? And thirdly, whether the insurance companies are seriously thinking to make a point that those who have taken the vaccination, those only can be insured as far as the health is concerned. Mr. Srinivasan, please.
Yeah, thank you for the question. See, basically, my suggestion for all the customers would be to go for a normal health insurance policy. Because, health insurance is a long-term affair. So we issue annual policies. And pandemic may go away in 6 months or 1 year, but then, there are other diseases which are there. So the first suggestion would be to go for a normal health insurance cover, which is adequate. But if somebody doesn't have enough money, he feels that the health insurance is costly, then you should at least go for the COVID products, the 2 products, Kavach and Rakshak, which is a low-cost, short-term products one must really have. And I would suggest that this product should be taken by all, whether he has not yet contracted COVID, or even if somebody has contracted COVID. I feel that you should have this because, there are many instances where people who have recovered from COVID now again, getting infected. And we have seen people getting infected even after vaccinations. So I think one should not be thinking that he has already got it or he has been vaccinated. I think he needs a protection. So I would suggest that this COVID product is a second, backup. First thing is to have a normal health insurance policy. If that is not feasible because of its cost, at least go for the COVID products. Now, I just would like to respond to Mr. Ramnath's question on children. See, today, the Indian insurance industry has products for children, even from day zero. Only thing is, it is people take it along with the family because you don't see a situation where children alone is covered and parents are not covered. So normally that is why, we have not seen that demand happening that only children should be covered. So the products are available. I think one should go for the family floater cover covering the parents as well as children, which gives a full protection as is available for the adult.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Srinivasan. And he has clarified almost all the things. I'm sure the viewers are getting their replies or the response, which I'm asking the question to them. And by this way, they can also getting the reply. Now, my question goes to Mr. Vijayan. Mr. Vijayan, you being the chairman of the IRDA at that one time, and you have seen the insurance companies very closely being a regulator. Do you think in this pandemic time, the insurance companies performed well? They have risen up and they have done whatsoever is required during this pandemic time, which an insurance company was supposed to do in comparison to the other countries, if we will take the insurance companies of our country. Mr. Vijayan, please.
As a companies, I believe in India, the companies have come up to the challenge of introducing policies, servicing the policies, setting the claim. And now, Mr. Ramnath Pradeep was talking about the rural penetration, how they will be taking, etc. I would recommend that a benefit-based policy rather than reimbursement type of policies will be more suitable for a rural population, because after admitting to hospital, how much was treatment of the hospital, etc., you to calculate it and get a reimbursement is going to be difficult. But whether he got COVID or not, yes, he got COVID, this is the amount. This type of policies will be more suitable for a rural population. And then the e-policies and electronic policies, e-sales, this should be adopted. Fortunately, in India, a large number of people are going for the contactless, paperless solutions for their financial needs. Whether going to a bank or going to withdraw the money, a credit card, everything. They are going contactless. This should be encouraged for insurance companies also. Maybe insurance companies have got one more thing to do. Like CSR funds, all the companies are having good CSR funds. This should be utilized more for preventing the health, like this, like Mr. Srinivasan was saying about vaccinations, financing the vaccinations, at least for the people. If the company is announcing all our employees and agents are going to get free vaccination, it could be a big boost for the vaccination drive in India, to spend the CSR funds in a meaningful way, and electronic policies. However, I will still feel that insurance companies have come up very well. A regulator has been very fast in responding it. And they were recently published. If the insurance company is not selling a policy, given Kavach, that type of policies, they can make a complaint the company is not selling the policy to the CEO and to the regulator. What exactly penalty is too early to say that. But they have a redressal mechanism available for a customer grievance is a great thing. This is what I feel.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vijayan. And one point, I must say, it's a very good suggestion which you have given is that why not come out with a fixed amount policy for the COVID? If anyone is declared as a COVID patient, he must get that much amount from the insurance company instead of going for the settlements and the hospital bills and the medicines bills, which nobody can have today. So many things are happening. And fact of the position today is that even the medicines are not available many times on the rates, and people have to buy off the shelf. So how the insurance company, but if there is a fixed amount, then the insurer knows that I am going to get this much amount from the insurance company. So at least that much mentally he is satisfied. Thank you very much, Mr. Vijayan. Very
already
nice.
Available.
It's already available. Okay, it's already.
The policy and making it. Yeah.
It's already available, so one can very well avail the facility of this insurance company, and especially in the rural area where there's such type of problems are there. And he mentioned about the e-system, that everything is available on the touch of your button, so one can avail all those facilities. Thank you very much, Mr. Vijayan, for giving very, very positive inputs. Now my question goes to Mr. Ramnath Pradeep. Mr. Pradeep, you being let's take it that you are like me, a citizen, although they are also citizens, but they are expert. Today, the fact is in the country is two things. One is either the hospital who were in the cashless system, they are denying. They says no cashless. If you want a bed, you have to pay this much upfront. That you claim afterwards, right now our cashless is not working or some dispute. So basically the hospitals, even the big hospitals, are denying the cashless system, which the media report says. Secondly, as you know, almost everything, and it's a fact, it's a come in the national media, whether it's oxygen, whether it's remdesivir or any medicines which has been introduced in this COVID time is blacked. It's been sold many folds time extra. Now the person who has taken insurance, now his problem is, what is the use of this insurance if the insurance is not covering me at the time of crisis, when really the money is required? They are selling their ornaments, they are selling whatsoever things are available with them. Don't you think some solution should come, or you want to frame the question again to our experts? What type of thing should come that the people feel that if I am insured, I have nothing to pay. Like in foreign country, if a person is insured, or in UK, the NHS system is there. If he is covered, he is not paying anything whatsoever, pandemic or no pandemic. What you say about that, Mr. Pradeep?
Sir, I understood, and the majority of the people who has undergone this treatment side, almost everybody, I give the example of myself, I have also gone through this COVID, and this question came up because the insurance company, when there is a limit, and when the hospital, they raise the bill, there are certain items that is excluded. So there is a good opportunity for a financial intermediary to come into picture. And like NBFC, there are many NBFC, when everybody is approaching, even the banks, whether it is nationalized bank or whether it is a private sector bank, there is a good opportunity for them to come as a financial intermediary to meet with the gap at that particular time. Because when there is an insurance policy is there, to that extent gets settled. Whatever is not settled, there is intermediary who can give immediate action, the immediate facility of balance amount, so that the patient who is already under tension, who is already going through the stress, he comes out very nicely out of the stress, and he will never default, I am sure. So there is a need to introduce intermediary at that particular financial intermediary at that particular time, so that the financial need of a balance of payment is taken care at that particular time. This is one suggestion. Probably insurance, IRDA and RBI can think of working together on this and issuing some sort of guidelines to take care of that. So this particular issue can be addressed like this. Now, the people were talking about, there are some reinsurance product available. Reinsurance, when you do the insurance, there are some reinsurance companies who are also refusing to reinsuring. So there is a need to reinsurance companies who should also come forward and undertake some risk of insurance companies where the intermediary gap can be filled in. So this is one area which also needs to be looked into. Probably IRDA can look, or our veteran can suggest something, that what is the role reinsurance company can pay to take care of the losses of the insurance company and also the losses of the the customer who is going to suffer on account of this.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Pradeep. Mr. Srinivasan, my question to you is, as we know that today's pandemic is on, and the hospitals are paying far more to the doctors and the nurses to see to it that they will work. After all, they are working tirelessly, wearing the PPE, etc., and their expenses have increased because of the PPE and so many things. Don't you think the insurance company should come out with some enhancement of the reimbursement during the pandemic? Because the hospitals which they were charging earlier, they have to increase the rates. And as Mr. Pradeep says, that the limit is there, so they cannot. So is it possible the insurance companies come out with some enhancement or come out with a policy where additional policy to be given to already an insurer with some extra premium, and then it can be enhanced manifold?
Thank you for the question. See, basically, the concept of insurance is we would like to reimburse or pay whatever is the reasonable cost of treatment for the particular disease, for COVID in this case. So if the hospitals really incur more expenditure by paying, more wages or more allowances to the medical team, I don't think the insurance industry would be concerned. They would be very happy to pay this. What is really happening is, so when the rates are fixed, I think these factors can always be taken into account. They can always be reviewed, and the insurance industry will be very happy to look at these rates which are realistic. But what is happening is hospitals are quite erratic. So in one case, they charge a particular amount. In another case, they charge a different amount. It also becomes a question of demand and supply. If there's more demand, then the charges go up. This is where the problems happen. So I would say that, any reasonable expenses because of the pandemic situation, the hospitals have to incur, the insurance industry would be very, very happy to pay it. They don't need any extra policy. They don't need any extra premium. They would pay as per the normal policy itself.
Okay, thank you very much. And now, Mr. Vijayan, what suggestion you want to give to the government, to the policyholders, and to the public at large, that the insurance company which always give that insurance or that assurance to everyone, always from the LIC or any other companies, what assurance, what suggestion and positive suggestions you think that government should do this, or the public should do this, that an insured person should do this, or insurance company should do this?
Yeah, I have a number of suggestions. If you listen to all the suggestions, maybe people will laugh at it. Because, see, this pandemic, COVID has come and is spreading very fast. Second wave comes, third wave is coming. Now, it is almost like everyone is likely to get it. So in India, there is one insurance called third-party insurance of motor cars. All the cars that are running in the road should have third-party insurance. That's compulsory. Legally, it is compulsory. I don't know whether a law can be brought that everyone should have COVID cover or COVID coverage policy and the premium. That I'm not too sure. But those type of things could help insurance. Everyone should have. So it will cover the risk by spreading the this financial loss across a larger clientele rather than a smaller clientele. As for the health workers are concerned, already a regulator has brought in that 5% discount in the premium rate has to be given on these selected policies, public coverage to health insurance. That has come. It's very proactive. I believe that is done a very proactive steps in offering a discount in premium to the people who are health workers in that. And if there is a compulsory policies needed across the country, that will help in reducing the cost and increasing the coverages.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Pradeep. Now my question to you is like in USA, we have seen the insurance, Obamacare has come for health. Even NHS in UK is very effective. Don't you think in India, although the government, the employees are already covered with the insurance, though they are getting, why not government make it compulsory for the private organizations, uh, everyone to give the insurance to their employees if they are in organized sector? Even for the unorganized sector, they should come out with some schemes, like when they are transferring 6,000 rupees or so yearly to the public, those who are BPL or migrants, etc. Why not the government should come out with such type of a scheme, so that health, one should not even think that we have to spend anything, and then by this way they can control the hospitals, the charges, because all those hospitals who are covered under this scheme, although government has come out with the Ayushman Bharat, but why not for those who are above BPL?
So this is one, there is a group insurance policy for the employees who are working in certain organization, whether it is a government organization, private organization, there is already a group insurance policy. Now the situation what they are facing in the, when we approach to them, and now because during this particular period, COVID period, majority of the people, means maximum number of people have already been benefited out of that policy. Now, when you go and when it is becoming due on a particular day, some of the insurance companies asking to pay, double the premium or much more premium what last year they paid. So there is an expectation from the organization that whatever earlier I have paid, the same policy, same insurance premium will be applicable, but it is not the case. They are saying that last year I have claimed, based upon their claim, which they have already filed because of the COVID, the insurance premium is being increased. So if this particular exemption is allowed by the government, that yes, whatever has been there in the past, the same thing should continue, and there should not be any incremental increase on account of the claim being filed. Our claim has been settled. So this will also give a long, and the people will be more encouraged to go. Ayushman Bharat covers majority of the unorganized sector, no doubt about it. And majority of the people in the organized sector, they already started taking this policy, the group insurance policy. Even the banks, even the other organization has already got this policy. And taking the benefit of under the pandemic, they have already filed the claims. So I don't know whether there is a coverage can be increased, little more coverage can be increased, and the amount can be decreased, because there is a, the certain percentage is only covered. So if amount is increased, looking to the claim being filed, probably that will also help the hardship of the people who are being, and in a family like now this COVID is spreading the whole of the family. From brother to sister to wife to husband to father to mother, parents, everybody is getting infected in the family. So when a claim comes of an entire family, then it becomes much larger than what has been insured. So those are the exemption area which needs to be considered, whether in those cases, whether any exemption can be granted. Of course, there will be a burden on the insurance company. To that extent, they can look forward for the reinsurance company who will back them, and also government is backing, already government is backing to that extent, that can be taken care, but there is a need to reconsider that.
Okay, thank you very much. So viewers, today you have seen how the experts of the industry have given their views, and their views are very, very clear. This is a unprecedented pandemic time, and in this unprecedented pandemic time, everybody suffered, including the insurance companies. After all, they never thought that such type of claims, and so many claims can come. After all, let's say the insurance companies are also doing a business with a cops, but it doesn't mean that such type of thing will come and they back out, and they are trying their best to solve the problems, but there are practical difficulties. And the first difficulty is that we are neither taking that much proactiveness from ourselves to take the insurance, the requisite insurance which is required. And one very, very good suggestions have come. And the suggestion what Mr. Vijayan has given, that like the third-party insurance is compulsory for all the vehicles on the road. Similarly, such type of insurance although he mentioned about the COVID, but I can say that health insurance should be covered for the entire citizenship or citizens of the country, so that no one should bother, and we will not see the cases that the families are selling their ornaments, their land, their valuables just to save their near and dear. I am sure today's program, which has enlightened not only me but everyone, is very, very encouraging, and we feel that the government, whatsoever the positive suggestions have been given, can implement many of them, because they are very, very practical suggestions from our all experts. And thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, NewsGaon se Samvad Sarokar News, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you everyday new topic. But as for the last one fortnight, we have started an evening program in Hindi, where we are talking to a achiever who has done something for the society in a big way. And today our chief guest is Mr. D. Shivanand Nandan, IPS, retired, former Director General of Police, Maharashtra, Mumbai. So at 4:30 p.m. So kal aaj aur kal Lal Goyal ke sang at 4:30 p.m. Please watch to see Mr. D. Shivanandan, IPS. He will be revealing his past, present, and future. Thank you very much, Mr. G. Srinivasan. Thank you very much, Mr. T.S. Vijayan. Thank you very much, Mr. Ramnath Pradeep. And thank you all the viewers for watching our show. I'm sure today's program is very, very enlightening to all of you. Thank you very much.